back in the room.
Back in the room.
So yeah. Do you remember in the last podcast from last week with Jonathan, we talked about being brain curious, right?
All right.
So I was on the flight coming back from the UK, flicking through my new magazine that I picked up. New Scientist got a thing on the human mind, and there's a great article about this lady, right? They did some research on this lady who has hyperphantasia. Okay,
Okay.
and basically the whole point of it is that some of us, not all of us, have the same level of visual imagination. Well, actually, to be more specific, imagination, it's always visual, right? Imagination is always visual
Okay.
imagination. Okay. But there are some people who have hyperphantasia, like this woman that they talk about. She could faint. If she read a passage in a book and it was particularly gory, she would literally faint and she
All
would
right.
pass out. That's how
Wow.
vivid her imagination was. Amazing. By contrast, some people have no visual, like zero visual imagination. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And the reason they talk about it is because actually it's often very closely linked to depression. Generally,
All right.
people will potentially more likely suffer from depression if they have vivid imagination on the basis of seeing and believing. So you can
Right.
see it, picture it. They're much more likely to get a depression from that thought
Right.
that they have in their
From
mind.
like
They hold in their mind.
seeing it.
So it's
Right. Because it
interesting.
seems more real. It seems
Yeah,
real.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So, segueing to the homework that I set you a
Oh.
few weeks ago
Oh.
about blinking your eyes at something
Oh yeah.
so that you can remember it. So if you put if you haven't heard the podcast, that particular podcast, there's a hack you could do if you're always losing stuff, right? Your car keys. Okay, wherever
Mm-hmm.
you put it down last, blink at it a lot, and your brain will register it. Turns out that
Yeah.
that's not always true. If you're a kind of person that
Ah.
has no visual imagination, that won't work for you.
Oh.
There you
Okay.
go.
That's interesting. All right.
It's interesting.
Okay.
But anyway, great, really interesting article
All
right
right.
there. Yeah.
Cool. And with that
So,
interesting article
yeah.
from my learned friend, Mr. Tomp, welcome to ADHDville.
Do you know it's a while now since I've got half a song written in my head based on our
Really?
intro.
Oh,
Yeah, an
okay.
ADHD song.
All right. Well, I'm
Yeah,
looking forward
it's
to
like
that.
half written in my head.
All right.
So anyway, hello, I'm Paul Thompson. I was diagnosed with the neurological naming disaster that is ADHD 3 months ago.
Right.
Neurological.
Being a naming disaster because it's the
hard to pronounce.
ADHD part is all right. Yeah. And I'm Martin West, and I was diagnosed with ADHD in 2013, which is the year that the following artists were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So in 2013, we had Cat Stevens, Hall & Oates, Kiss, Linda Ronstadt, and a personal favorite of mine, Nirvana.
Yeah. Nirvana. Nice. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Smells Like Teen Spirit, your girl, Patti Smith, does an outstanding cover with the banjo. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Really?
It is stonking. It is so good.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Did you know that the Teen Spirit is the name of a fragrance?
No.
Yeah, That's why it's called Teen. Smells like Teen Spirit.
Okay.
It's a fragrance.
Oh, yes, I did hear that somewhere. Yeah, yeah. In my memories from yonder.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we should introduce ourselves, I suppose. So we're just two mates who, by coincidence or not, after 39 years of friendship, discovered that we're co-ADHDers. Hurrah! Now,
Hurrah!
it's really important to say that this is an entertainment podcast about adult ADHD and does not substitute, no, for individualized advice from qualified health professionals. Hyphen. Oh no, I'm not supposed to read that bit. Hyphen. So don't taken any advice from us. We're just here as a kind of all-inclusive ADHD park bench with room for your doppelgangers, your alter egos, your body doubles, your chaperones, and your best buddies. Right?
Chaperones.
Still here. Great. So grab your jetpacks or any other transportation methods that you might have to hand, and let's take you to ADHDville. Yes, an imaginary town that we've created in our minds,
In our minds.
where we like to explore different parts of A, D, H, and another D, please.
Lovely, Paul. And we start off, as always, here in the town hall in the mayor's office, where we, the joint mayors of ADHDville, take care of the business.
The business.
And on today's meeting agenda, we have a big one.
We do have a big one. Potentially three big ones.
Right. So we stuck up a notice, as you have to, on the council planning board to kind of get input from people. So we listened to that. We also got a town planner in to kind of like look at how we were structuring everything. And
it's a bit like when Boris Johnson commissioned the bridge, a new bridge on the Thames. It's called the Garden Bridge. Yeah,
All
spent £80 million just on consultation. It's pretty much that kind of thing.
All right.
Then it got cancelled.
Wow. Well, hopefully our changes are going to be a little bit more worthwhile. So we're going to split our podcast up into three types. So the first type is going to be the regular topic specific podcast. So that's about, about some aspect of ADHD. And then we can kind of like just be more focused on that. The second one is the guest episodes. So we're kind of getting people lined up and they're going to cover the whole board. So because we need different voices on this podcast. And the third,
not just ours, two old, boomers, as my son always likes to refer me as. Oh, good dad, such a boomer. So we're gonna get some more.
Wait, you aren't
good fillers.
You aren't a boomer,
aren't
I?
No,
you're
he calls me a boomer.
Gen X. Well, the saying is like okay, boomer, meaning like old person, but
okay, Gen X.
Yeah,
okay,
Gen X.
All right,
and the third type is we're going to take our good, bad, and ugly segment, and we're going to have that as a separate podcast episode. So because that can take up quite a lot of time, and it's quite
time,
right? Oodles of time. So we're going to cut those out into three. So hopefully we can get tighter, and more focused poddies.
Yeah, and because of the good, the bad, and the downright ugly part of the episodes, they kind of have that bit of a life of their own by now. So
So this is, and welcome to the first of the good, bad, and downright ugly episodes. So let's jump into the mayor's car and we'll head to our favourite watering hole, the ADHDville coffee place, and go and hang out on a special couch reserved for the joint mayors. Imagine a scene from Friends. You'd have to guess which one of us is Phoebe. And
I'm not saying a thing.
all right. So let's so we're going to go and shoot the breeze and spill the tea on what is going on in our neurodivergent lives.
Yes, lives. I did a bit of research because there's like apparently there's a whole pages of like special guests that they had on Friends over the years. And in one episode, on the couch on Central Perk, together were Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. Wow, what a duo in the same episode. Wow, I think I'll have to look that up actually. Then Gary Oldman was actually a special guest on there. It was a bit of a wild, bit of a left field, bit of a curveball, as you'd say in America.
Right.
And then
Now.
I love a Gary Oldman. Yeah,
Right.
but I couldn't eat a whole one.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah. And then Susan Sarandon, I've only put that in there because I love Susan Sarandon. No other reason.
Oh, she's
She's a goddess.
problematic.
Is she?
Oh God, yes.
Is she from your neck of the woods? New
America.
Jersey. New Jersey.
I don't know where she's from, but she's
problematic.
Yeah. Google.
Just the kind
Google.
of woman I like. I like problematic women.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you're just the type of guy that she's into as well. Maybe.
Yeah, me and Tim Robbins.
Oh, Tim Robbins. What, from Time Team?
Married. Tim Robbins. No, the tall guy from Hudsucker Proxy and
all right.
The one with Morgan Freeman.
Time Team.
The show.
What the fuck was I thinking?
Time Team?
Yeah, you know.
Imagine Tim Robbins on Time Team. Tim Robbins on Time Team. Can you imagine that?
I'm just
digging up Roman coins.
No, I have to look up who that was.
Hudsucker Proxy was a great film. He was in that. It's like 2 meters tall and rising.
Tony Robbins.
Robinson.
Tony Robinson.
Yeah. Tony Robinson. Tony Robinson and Tim Robbins. There's a coupling right there.
Let's
imagine
jump
them spooning
into
each other.
Oh blimey! I don't need that in my head. Let's jump into the mayor's car.
Neither does Susan Sarandon, apparently.
Oh God! Just get in the bloody car, Paul.
All right, okay. Lost my keys. Oh, no, I found them.
I have my tea here.
Right.
A Guinness.
Let's ever get into the point of the episode really nice and smoothly and efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Trying to.
So yeah, we've got this like good, bad, and the downright. Is it downright? Yeah, downright ugly thing. Starting with good.
All right, good. All right, what's been good in your ADHD world?
Yeah. First note I've got on this is like because was it in the last episode or penultimate episode we talked about catastrophizing. It's really funny because you know, famous ADHDs are famous for catastrophizing. I had to really concentrate and think, Paul, come on, focus. Something good. Come on, you can do it. You know?
Right.
I know, you've frozen, mate. You're frozen.
Have I? Move a bit. I think I'm fine.
He's frozen. All right, frozen.
I'm good. You can just carry on. You're fine.
So yeah, the good bits. Yeah, it's weird. You know, it's like something to do with muscle memory. I think for me, anyway, it's harder to think of good stuff. But anyway, I did. There is some good stuff. I drove back to the I travelled back to the UK last week, which was really cool. Grabbed my rental car at the airport, got onto the road. I hadn't driven on the left for like 15 years or something, and just like got back into it like it was, you know, never been to Italy at all. So it's all fine. And it was just really, really cool. It was really nice, really peaceful on the motorway, driving along. great tunes on the radio. It was actually
Mm-hmm.
De La Soul Buddies. I love De La Soul, and it was just amazing. It was really nice the whole time. Really nostalgic. It's really really cool, and yeah, it was great. And then just meet up with a lot of old peeps, and just connecting with them. And it's really nice, really nice. How about you, Martin? How was your good stuff?
All right. My ADHD. I mean, yeah, my ADHD. Good stuff. I'm starting to get the hang of, like, so the house would get untidy, which is quite a common ADHD thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I would go, right, I've got to sort this out. And then I'd go into a mega focus blitz, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would just kind of spend like all day feverishly just running around, like going like a mad person,
Wow.
clearing up everything in this kind of hyper focus way. And then, of course, it looks great, but then you're like dead for like the next 2 days or something.
Yeah.
And then it starts to build up again, and then you repeat the whole process, right?
Okay.
So so the good thing is I've been just picking one small little area of the house and just doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be a corner of one room, or it might just be the bathroom or something.
Right.
So that, and then doing that every day. So it's more like it's less. I'm not tapping into the hyperfixation part of my ADHD.
Okay.
I'm just trying to build it as a habit of every day. There is a part of the house that I just pay some attention
Right.
to.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that I take out the trash, or I walk the dog. It's just like a thing that I do every day.
So basically, you're saying you try
my good.
not to hyper focus. Then you're trying to like level it out a bit,
right? Because
spread
even
it
though
out over the days.
Right, because even though the hyperfocus gets things done, there's a price to pay on the back end, which is you get burnt out.
Yeah.
For like a day or two where you don't really feel like doing anything, so you end up with this kind of, this peaks and troughs way of going through the world, rather than a little bit more steady state way, which is better for me.
Losing the shame as well, because we've talked about this, didn't we? Because I kind of proclaimed myself as being lazy a few podcasts back, and you pulled me up on that and said, hey, well, what's all that about, Paul? But yeah, it's like a burnout, you're crashing, you're like, it's like, oh, even though, the good thing for me was, I just said, the socializing, but I was exhausted. I was being social for 3 days with people I hadn't seen for 20 years. It was great fun. It was fabulous, but I was really tired.
Yeah. All of that interaction is very mentally draining.
Yeah,
for sure.
In fact, I arrived back at Gatwick Airport like 5 or 6 hours earlier than I should have done, and I'd rented a hotel room literally within the hotel, within the airport in North Terminal. It was amazing, but I got there early because I couldn't do it anymore. It's like, okay, I'll just eat some stuff from the mini fridge and watch trashy TV.
Right. No, that is like taking care of your brain, right? Is because you're like you're kind of burnt out from all that interaction. You kind of need to go back into your womb, as it were, and just kind of sit there, and just like and watch.
Do you know what I did? I binged.
Shit.
Guess what I binged?
On.
Marmite coated cashew nuts.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that sounds horrific.
No, it was amazing.
It sounds horrific.
Yeah,
Marmite cashew nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And then
I think
shortly afterwards,
my
about 4 hours
go on.
later, I tried to smuggle Marmite through the customs, through security.
Naughty
And
boy.
they were really nice about it. He said, can you come over here, sir? So can I open up your bag? Yeah, but please do. So
Uh-oh.
we think there's something
All
in there.
right.
It looks like it's a couple of jars.
Oh God.
Yeah. And I was like,
Oh dear.
because you never know with those kind of
Heroin? What was
places.
it? Cocaine?
In the end,
What?
2 jars of Marmite.
Oh.
2 jars of Marmite. So
And
he
you were
said,
caught. Bang to rights.
says you can't have these, sir.
Come
I'm
over,
afraid. So I said, what if I consumed them right now?
And he went, yes, please.
And there was a little part of me
got you a
like enjoying
spoon.
that. Little part of me was enjoying that visual for a bit, you know.
Right, I can just imagine you're there, like looking him dead in the eye,
Yeah.
as you like open up the lid and just start spooning it into your mouth,
never blinking.
never blinking.
Turns out he was really cool. We ended up swapping Marmite recipes.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So he said, so yeah, I said, because I live in Italy. So what are you doing with Marmite in Italy? I said, you've no idea. If you a bit of do the spaghetti, right, normal way, boil it, 10, 12
Yeah.
minutes, however you like it. Then a little bit of olive oil and a spoonful of Marmite.
Okay. Right.
Done deal. It's lovely. Lovely.
Is this turning into a cooking podcast?
Yeah, no, Marmite podcast was much more specific. Anyhow. So
Very nice.
yeah. God, what were we talking about?
All right.
I've lost the...
So that's the good.
Oh,
well,
so we've done
we
the
were
good, have
talking
we?
about the good. Yeah, and I think you know what? I think we might need a little sting, a little sound for the good and the bad and the ugly, just to segment these out a bit.
Yeah,
perhaps
because my ADHD brain needs that kind of like ding. I've got a bell.
Yeah.
We do it like old school. I've got a bell.
All right.
It's the one that's half a bell and half a beer bottle opener. Okay.
All right. Okay.
We can do that.
Cool. All right. Next, on to the bad, the ADHD bad part of the week.
Yeah, mine. This could have got in the good. It's funny, isn't it? Funny, but it's actually no. Right. In the end, I put it in the bad. I met up with some old friends, as I said before, and they said, "Yeah, so what are you up to these days?" I said, "Well, they're doing this and doing that, and I'm doing this podcast on ADHD." So, well, that's funny because we were saying like 15 years ago. So, yeah, of course, Paul's ADHD. And I looked at him. I was like a rabbit in the headlights.
All right.
And
found out.
God, no. I was like, oh God, if only you'd said something,
Oh, that's
the first thing that came to mind is you could have saved me a fortune, just economically, a fortune.
Right.
Wow.
Right. But okay, so let's take Paul back 15 years.
Oh.
And she said, "Okay, Paul, I think you have ADHD.
Yeah.
What would your 15 years younger version of you done with that information?"
What have I done with it? Number one,
clean my glasses while you think about it.
Number one on the list was I would have headed myself off at the pass before I compulsively moved from relationship to relationship and from house to house and from country to country and from house to house and all over the place. I was like, okay, Paul, what are you doing? What's this? Yeah. Just a heads up on on that one detail, one thing, just a heads up, like, okay, what's this? What's going on now? Yeah.
So you would have taken that and gone and accepted it, like, okay, yeah, I have ADHD.
Take it on.
Or I guess you'd have looked into it and kind of gone,
Yeah, of
what
course.
is this?
Yeah, I would have
And
started looking
and then
into it. Yeah. Even if, that such, 15 years ago, I was really skeptical about that because 15 years ago, I think the only thing we'd heard about in the UK with this kind of malarkey was in the States, and it was really badly reported.
right,
Do you know what I mean? It was like stuff
yeah,
that
because
American clinics were giving out to troublesome teenage boys. And that was it. End of story. You know.
yeah. I was having a short conversation, obviously on TikTok with someone, and they were saying about early diagnosis, like the what if.
Mm,
And my thing was, because I was born in in the 60s, if I was diagnosed when I was in the 70s, that would have done nothing for me. Like, because there's no support system,
right.
there is
No.
not. My parents would have done
Yeah.
nothing about it.
Yeah.
I would have done nothing about it. And,
Mm.
and in fact, if all my school friends found out that I had ADHD, they would have thought of me as a weird. They would have. I don't know.
Oh, right.
I kind of feel like there was no
Yeah.
support in the playground for that kind of crap.
Look, quite the opposite. Yeah.
Right, and even if I'd known in the 80s,
Mm.
when I was kind of going through adolescence and early,
Mm.
I would the same thing. There would have still been no
Mm.
support, and I would have
Yeah.
just gone, no,
Right.
I'm gonna reject that. It's not until the 90s
Mm.
when I
Is
was
it?
became more of an adult that I
Yeah.
would have entertained that whole thing, and it
Yeah.
would have been helpful.
Yeah. Being ready for it. Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah, being ready for it in some weird ways. I'm glad that I'm dealing with it as a 56-year-old man in a lot of ways.
Right,
You know.
because because if you've got narcissistic parents,
Right.
strict parent,
Yes.
and like me, I will say, you if I had something special like ADHD, it
Oh.
would have taken the focus off of
Oh.
them
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
made me something different and special, and that would not have gone down well.
Yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
it would have just been ignored. Like, no, you're just a
Mm.
kid.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Don't
I
look
don't want
at
to make
don't
any
look at that shiny
special.
thing. It's all about me. Yeah.
Right. I don't. Yeah. The my parent would not have
Yeah.
wanted to make any special accommodations for me
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I totally get that. I completely understand that. Yeah. I talking about in the 80s, very early 80s, I was taken to a special hospital for an eating disorder. And they diagnosed me the diagnosis was eat a whole bottle of full cream milk every day and a Yorkie bar. Uh, then okay,
What?
off you go. There you go. Off you go. Back to your house. This is after a whole night of this is at Great Ormond Street. Whole night
All right.
of all kinds of examinations that were highly embarrassing and
Wow.
shocking. It was terrible. No one sat down with me and said, "Okay, so Where's this? Where's this eating disorder coming from?" It was almost just like there was something wrong with
Right.
me. In fact, that's what they did. They thought there was something wrong with my stomach, and they put tubes down me with little cameras to see if there's some, if
Okay.
there was like a blockage or was like of some
Right.
description. No,
What was
and I
what were
was,
you doing? What was the thing? If you don't mind me asking.
eating time was traumatic, so was it? I associated food with trauma. Yeah.
Right.
But no one,
Was it? I
no
mean,
one like said, "Oh, what's up with him? Could it be something mental?" This is like it's not like in the 1800s or something. This is like in the early 80s.
right, because obviously I can't help think. Okay, right. Well, we were talking about having sensitivities to taste and texture,
Yeah.
and food is obviously one of those. Like certainly, ADHD or even like or even an autistic
Yeah.
ADHD hybrids, and autistic is like there's this kind of there's this weird you can get very picky
Yeah.
eaters.
Yeah. I was extremely
And
picky. Extremely.
right,
In fact, sometimes I was not welcome at to stay with my mates' family because it was just I was a nightmare to cook for.
right.
Yeah.
I can remember when we were at art college, so
Yeah.
this goes back to the 80s, right?
Yeah. Mid
I
80s.
can remember we had a conversation. So we're like, I mean, like early, like 20 or something, 22, 20. And I asked, and I found out that you'd never eaten pizza
Oh
before.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was shocked,
Yeah.
obviously, because, I think I just lived on pizza
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
time.
Now it's like once a week. It's like if you are it's like I say, if you are what you eat, that makes me a pizza. Then I
Right.
love the damn things. It's like we say with mushrooms. I hated them, and then I realised I got over the consistency problem that I had with mushrooms. I found out they're really fucking tasty. It's like okay, we'll get over that one then. that mental obstacle that I created
Right.
for myself unnecessarily. But yeah, but also I had loads of stuff going on. I was both addicted to sugar as I was, and I still am addicted to less
Yeah.
sugar now. I'm really addicted to like acidic stuff like salt and vinegar crisps,
Oh yeah, because we've
Twiglets,
talked about you really
Marmite.
like
It's that end of the spectrum.
sour
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Har- Har- Haribo's.
Haribo's
Your
balsamic vinegar. Oh man. So
Mhm.
yeah, but we've got ADHD and food coming up on a Theme Pacific podcast.
I know.
So
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to that. It's going to be tasty.
yeah. So
Um,
we talked about, so that was bad, and we talked about how did food come up in bad. I've completely lost the
oh,
thread.
who knows?
Who knows? Who
Who knows?
cares?
The
Doesn't
the, the
matter.
ADHD brain
Yeah,
is a crazy mad
it's
place
more
of
tangents
side
than
conversations
the M25
than an isosceles. I don't know.
Isosceles. Wasn't he a Greek
Um,
god? Oh, that was Hippocrates.
all right. Yeah, let's back out
Back out.
of a subject that we don't know much about,
Okay.
um,
Greek
like
gods.
geometry.
Yeah. That's another book that I bought that I haven't read, of which I've got hundreds. There's another episode. Books that I haven't read.
All right.
So, okay. Then the other bad thing is, this is much more fresh. Yesterday, renewed my meds in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Another shit show.
I saw your TikTok.
Yeah, yeah. TikToking. Another shit show. Another time trying to, it's like blood out of a stone, trying to get information out of the guy. Because here's the thing, right? I've got the feeling that my meds aren't working. I'm on Ritalin. Got a feeling they're not bloody working. Even if I think the it's working with my I'm much better at impulsivity, as in doing it less, not more. But
Okay.
my thoughts are still very very busy and racy and all over the shop. So we upped my dosage, right?
Right.
So 30 milligrams twice a day, so 60 milligrams a day of Ritalin. I'm not taking that. You're
Okay.
kidding me. It's way too much for me. And then I just so saying, well, that could be good, but things at the moment, I'm not working or anything, so I've got no structure. And said this is more of a question to you, really. If I had more structure and I have a job, and next week, for example, I've got a job and I've got taken Ritalin, maybe in that context, it's going to make more sense having that kind of dosage. And you just went,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. And that was it. And then I was about to go. He'd written out my prescription, and he said, "Oh, by the way, if you're not doing it already, always look on the bright side of life." No, he didn't say that. He said, "Always take a photocopy. Every time you get a prescription of it, get a photocopy of it and keep it with you all the time. Because if you get stopped in a car and they get a trace of your amphetamines, you're screwed." I said, "Oh, okay." It's like, so hang on a minute. You know that these are amphetamines, but you're not giving me any goddamn advice about it. You know, it's like linking the two things. Like, hang on. There's something that doesn't add up here.
I mean, well, firstly, how would they know there's amphetamines in your system unless they did a blood test?
And
they would have to arrest you. Then you'd have to go down to the station, and then they'll take a blood sample. Then they'll send it off to the lab, and then it'll come back.
He's a specialist psychiatric doctor, specialist in ADHD. So I guess it's come up in the past with other patients.
I guess so. I don't know how it works in Italy.
You've never heard that in over your end of the planet?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But if you have and you're listening to this, get on the comments.
I'm seriously interested.
Tell us. Yeah.
Seriously interested. Because,
all right, so
but I did take it.
Meds...
I did take the a copy of my official ADHD diagnosis, rubber stamped and signed when I travelled to the UK. Right? Like if
in case you were stopped in
rummaging through your luggage looking for Marmite and they come across amphetamines, and they're going to want to see some documentation.
Right, because ours the documentation's on the
ours aren't.
Label,
right?
Like because it has all the all the info on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, who my doctor is, what my prescription number is.
Oh, really?
Is. So this is
wow.
Yeah. So there's all the info's there.
Okay. Anyway, it'd be really cool to find out from our community who's if this has come up for anyone. Any Italians out there?
Jeff, tell us.
Any Italians want to call us from their prison cells?
Yeah, I have one call. Yeah. And it's to these guys on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, worth it.
Live on air, you can hear the keys jangling.
Yeah. You've got 15 minutes.
Right.
Come on.
So,
how was to the soul for you?
Have you got something bad, Martin, to
bad
to share with us?
I'm just taking some vitamin D, which is perfect for ADHD and for seasonal affective disorder. When it's this time of year, it's all kind of dark. But the bad stuff is I haven't been going swimming. I haven't been doing enough physical exercise apart from walking the dog.
Right.
I've not. So after this, I'm going to make lunch and then I'm going to go swimming. So I'm going to try and break that.
Please,
I
please do photos. Yeah. Please. If anything's going to go viral on TikTok, that's the one.
What? Of me in me ill-fitting speedos.
See the TikTok in Beijing. Someone's going to go. It's just going to be kind of like it's going to implode on itself with the traffic.
Yeah. I think if I pulled out a phone in the changing room, it won't go well. It won't go well.
Right. Okay. All right.
All right. So I think it's time for you to ring your bell, and then we can move into the downright
ugly.
There we go. All right. The ugly bell. So yeah. So what has been ugly for you this week?
I haven't really got anything. I've only got really.
That's good.
But I've got really ADHD stuff. To me it's ugly, and it's completely exaggerated form of ugliness. Right? I've got hyphenation, capitalization, and exclamation marks. That's my kind of downright ugly. Oh man,
You've been You've been fixating on.
I always have.
On
like if someone writes me an email and it's already capitals with exclamation marks, and I'm like, oh. But that's because I work with Italians and they're really over dramatic. It could be like, oh, should we? They send you a message like, oh, don't forget to check the color proofs, and there's nothing urgent about it, and I've done nothing wrong. But they'll write it all in caps with like 6 exclamation marks on it for no reason. It's ridiculous, and it would like really wind me up. Like what? That's so
all right.
ridiculous. And I got to the point where I did tell people that it's like a bit shouty. I used to go to it's a little bit shouty.
Oh, it's very shouty.
It's really shouty. And then
right. For an English boy,
of course, the way I am, I said, "Well, do you know that the exclamation mark used to be originally it was a symbol of admiration." That's what it was actually created for. It's a sign of admiration. So when you're shouting at me and then admiring me, right. Where are you going with that?
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And then and then hyphenation. Like, big on, and then commas, the whole thing. To me, that's ugliness. I'm obsessive about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, that on the ugly scale, I would say that barely has a blip.
Right.
It's a good ugly to have rather than having a screaming fit and kicking doors and where things get really ugly.
Yeah, but there was
there
is just one other thing in there because I was with a psychologist a few years ago. I was like in a really bad kind of place at the time. She said, "Okay, Paul, what I want you to do now, between now and next week, instead of resisting this depression, it's like black hole that you're in at the moment. I said, I want you to embrace it for a week. Take it on. Go as deep as you like.
Week.
Go as deep as you want with it. Go with it."
Jesus.
Like, oh.
A whole week?
Yeah. A week.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
In a black hole.
Yeah. So that was fun. Didn't do it.
Oh.
Because by the irony of that is you suddenly realise, oh, what's the point? That was her provocation, I think. It's like when you actually people like tell you to do it. So right, just go with it then. You fucking idiot. That's where you want to go. Go with it. Go down that hole. And then when someone says that, it's like, oh God, why would I want to do that? It doesn't make any logical sense at all because it doesn't. So it actually really worked in the end. It actually sorted me out nicely.
Well, that's why she gets paid the
mega bucks,
medium bucks.
Yeah, medium bucks. Yeah, exactly.
Medium bucks.
Anyhow, how was? Have you got anything of ugliness?
Ugly. I think the only ugly side this week is because I also have like a side dish of RSD, which is a rejection sensitivity disorder. It makes it so that I had an argument with my wife the other day, and then you kind of get about halfway through it, and then you kind of go, "Oh, hang on, this is like an RSD thing coming in," and then your wife's going, "Yeah, this is your RSD coming in," and I was like,
yeah.
I'm having an argument that I needn't have had.
Head it off at the pass. Head it off the pass. Yeah.
Right. RSD, and we will come on to that at some point, is a very interesting and nasty little part of that most people with ADHD have, and that's and it will flash up in an instant. So it isn't necessarily something you can head off at the pass, but there's a gap in between you feeling it and then it coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
there was a gap.
Yeah.
There was a gap there of which you could
Yeah.
actually jump on your horse and head it off at
Yeah.
the pass.
And start laying out sandbags.
I'm yeah. So I didn't do a good job of that
Okay.
this week.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
but we all survived. It's just
It's funny though, because now it's only like in the last couple of days that we decided to do the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I think there'll be a bit of muscle memory coming into it, as we go forwards with this new format. It's like, because I know I've got some ugly stuff in there that I could have, juicy stuff, but nothing popped into my mind. I know this stuff, I probably did have RSD, in my kind of in the last few days, but yeah. Okay.
All right. I think
So we go to
we can
now. So we like end it.
Yeah.
With
there
a
we
bell.
go. That's the bell. So we can now jump. We'll jump. We'll head over to the post office in the car. So let's. Oh, you know what? I was going to say. Now that I've weirdly, God, it's taken so long for that thought to come into my head, which was I was going to say that our mayor's car.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to get it painted in the Starsky and Hutch style.
Oh man.
Okay. I thought, wouldn't it be good if we had our
Yeah.
mayor's car in red with the white like swoosh on it, and that'd be great because it'd be like honouring Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
And then we could drive around ADHDville in that, and that would be like everyone would start cheering us and bring back loads of cardigan memories.
Yeah. Yeah. It brought up a memory for me.
I forgot.
There was this thing. I think it was a TikTok thing yesterday that brought up something. There's a lady talking about when she was a kid and she used to line up really precisely all of her dolls. And then it's like, oh my God. I used to line up my dolls too. No, I didn't. I used to
Wait, what?
No, I used to line up all my Matchbox cars. I used to literally out on the floor, all my Matchbox cars, it'd be like, 30 of them. And I would look down the line of all the cards, like get down the floor and make sure they were perfectly in line, right?
Yeah.
Right? Then get the hammer out and bash the hell out of them.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, that was that's a
surprise,
surprising turn.
Yeah, didn't it? Yeah. That's what made me thought of it. The Starsky and Hutch car, because I think I had one, a plastic one, not a metal one. I think I had a Starsky and Hutch car, and I had a Kojak car.
All right,
loved those. But yeah, there was what was going on there, Martin. Pick the what's it's out of that kind of visual.
I'm going to spend the rest of the week just ruminating on that one.
Right. There's some weird shit going on there, right?
It's the care and attention, right?
Yeah.
Making sure that they're all perfect.
Yeah.
And then the destructive chaos of the hammer.
Yeah. It was hammer time.
It's all right. Well, that's cool. I like that. That's If anyone has any theories on that,
pick the freakiness out of that little story.
Yeah. Get your theories in the comments. All right, so let's get into the mayor's car, which I would have had painted specially, but I didn't. Anyway, so if you could just put your hammer away, Paul, and we'll get in the car.
Hammer time.
The post office.
Yeah.
It's miserable. It's such a miserable place in here. We really ought to spend some money and tart this place up a bit.
Yeah, I don't think we've touched up the paintwork since the 70s.
No.
Still got
And it's not even a particularly nice
I think we've
shade of
still got
grey.
some like lickable stamps.
Oh, they're the best kind, no?
Yeah, exactly. Reminds me of a dad joke.
All right,
Anyway,
let's move on to you saying.
me saying, "Oh yeah,
Right.
so this is my bit. This is a bit. We highlight it in blue, so that it would prompt me into some kind of level of professionalism." So anyway, it says here, your feedback is really vital to us. We read all of the comments, and we might read yours out on a future podcast. Like these two, we've got a couple of comments, haven't we, Martin?
Yeah, the first one's real. So we had a comment on TikTok saying that from a guy who's sorry, I can't remember who what your handle was.
It's a
but he said,
TT.
you guys are cool.
Hang on, I've got it. Let's be. Come on, mate. Let's be.
All right,
Something
it's like the
professional.
the
I've written it down
13th
somewhere.
hour
I've got
podcast.
God, look at all these notes. Oh my God.
It's TTHP. No,
Yeah, something like that. He knows who he is.
yeah, the 13th hour podcast.
All these random notes.
That's who it is, Paul. You can come back to the mic.
Yeah,
and we know who it is.
Okay.
So he said. So he said, "You guys are cool."
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Just
all for that.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I said thanks.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. And we've got another one here, Martin, from
All right.
Leonardo _ da _ Vinci, which I presume you pronounce Leonardo da Vinci, from Florence, weirdly. Says, wow, wish I'd found your podcast before. I could have avoided so much stress in my life, especially personal grooming. Have you seen my beard recently? Full of pizza crumbs. Martin's advice with the post-it notes, especially valuable. Already got 35 post-it notes attached to my wooden helicopter. There you go. Someone in Florence there is already, picking up on your hacks. One of your hacks, Martin.
Yeah, as I do some hacks on the TikToks. Yeah, you're fake.
Really?
Yeah, that was a fake review, Paul, and you know it.
Yeah, I love that kind of shit. What can I say?
All right.
I'll probably repeat it as I do most of my really bad jokes. I repeat them at least 5-6 times before I give up on them.
Yeah. Give up on them. All right. So I think we can just walk back.
We go to the end segment.
Town hall.
End segment of the
the
back end of the episode.
I think that was our good, bad, and decidedly ugly episode. So that was its inaugural,
and as ever,
outing.
unslick,
just how you like it.
Exactly. Somehow, somehow. What's the word? God, I can't.
We're hanging on your every word.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? Because I can't remember them. Yeah.
The world is
gone.
like
it's gone. It's gone.
All right.
Yeah.
In that case, it just leaves it to me to remind you that ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts.
Yeah.
Please subscribe and rate us. Most marvelous. And feel free to correspond with us in the comments section. But wait, there is more. If you want to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, you can hop onto the YouTubes. You can also see us on the TikTokies and the Facebook Cupboard of Friends and Instagrammies, right?
Instagrams, yeah.
And you can also, So say hi, and we'll say hi back.
Yeah.
And if you feel, you can also pick up a quill and email us at ADHDville@gmail.com.
Yeah.
and then that just leaves us to dance our way
Yeah.
out of the episode.
This is when my neck loosens up. This is that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because as we know, dancing is very good for ADHD.
Oh yeah.
It's one of Paul's top
It's
tips.
the best. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, until next Tuesday, be fucking kind to yourself.
And from my part, know thyselves, sons of the hounds, come hither and get flesh.
There, says the mayor. That's that.